Today News Update.
It's Monday, June 13, and time for your Barbados Today Evening News Update. A warm welcome to you. 3 people were injured in a stabbing incident that occurred at Palmetto Mall in the city around 2 o'clock this afternoon. Acting Police Public Relations Officer Station Sergeant Michael Blackman told Barbados Today 1 man was transported to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital via ambulance and the other 2 persons to the Brantford Tate Polyclinic via private vehicle. Investigations are continuing. In other news, more challenges are ahead for the tourism sector, and Prime Minister Mia Mottley tells industry players it will require laser-like focus to keep the sector going. Addressing the 70th Annual General Meeting of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association today, she noted that the sector is facing a triple crisis: the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the fuel and food crisis, and the climate crisis that could impact arrivals here. Mottley is, however, confident the sector can ride out challenges by partnering with government.
We may have to think outside of the box if the existing structures are not working for us, and we may have to take principles that come from other industries like microleasing and other things in order to be able to get the people here that we need to get here. There may have to be some modest attempts, and we're waiting to do some work with an allied Caribbean entity, in order to be able to make life a little better for you on some fronts. But the reality is tough. And the question is, how will each of us put our individual aspirations, our individual behavior aside, and to create that common platform in the middle.
BHTA President Renee Coppin told the meeting bookings for the next few months reveal it will be a challenging summer.
We know that despite a strong winter, arrivals to the island from December 2021 to April 2022 were down 47.1% when compared to 2019 levels. We equally know that while many of our members enjoyed good winter performances, our stats say that average hotel occupancies for that same period, December 2021 to April 2022, were down by 10.1%. As we look forward, we are aware that summer will be a challenge, given that inbound passenger flights for all markets in the period June to October 2022 are down by 29%. And this is compared to our last normal year, 2019. Inbound seats to the island for that same period are down 37.4%. We remain positive that even while airlift does not at any point this year return to 2019 levels, we will move to a fuller recovery in 2023.
Barbadians are giving the thumbs up to the Barbados Revenue Authority's operations at the Barbados Licensing Authority in the Pine. Members of the public were able to complete their business today at the temporary offices, which opened this morning, and those who spoke to Barbados Today were pleased with the services.
To me, it was very speedy. They had to wait long at all, so that is basically it.
About how you feel about the relocation?
It's more convenient instead of go Warrens or Oysens and then come out here and do the back and forth. So
it was a refreshing change compared to what we are accustomed seeing, and I'm glad to see the new changes. I hope that they keep up with what has been, put in place thus far. And yeah, I just got, high hopes. I'm optimistic. So yeah, I thought it was a very quick process. You got in and they were very thorough and very professional. So yeah, I give them an A.
Well, I have seen some improvements from how it used to be back in a few days ago. They still have some kinks to be ironed out, as usual. It's a new system, and so far so good. And I haven't had to wait long to get my transaction done. So we can only get better from here once we follow the system that is being put in place today.
Thank you so much. Simple and nice.
Revenue Commissioner of the Barbados Revenue Authority, Louisa Lewis Ward, told Barbados Today the Pine office had a steady stream of customers and she was pleased with the process. She says there were a few minor issues which will be corrected in the coming days.
I think they're simple things at this stage. I mean, we're working on where people sit, how they sit, you know. We'll work on perhaps creating some streamlining what the services are so that people don't have to wait in line for the simple things. And then we'll work with our teams on the inside to make sure that their processes are flowing well as well.
Minister of Transport Works and Water Resources Cynthia Bradshaw was on hand this morning to observe the process. She too was satisfied and says Barbadians can continue to expect improvements.
We'll continue to listen to the public as it relates to anything that we can improve, and we will do that over the course of this week for sure. Renovations hopefully will start on the space that BRA will have permanently very shortly. I understand that tendering process should have been completed last week, and I believe the contracts will be issued for the contractor to be able to start. That is anticipated to take 4 weeks, and the intention is that once that is completed, persons will be able to return back to the old space to be able to have again the full suite of services there. So this is temporary, but I think that they've done a fantastic job, Barbados Revenue Authority and the contractor, within just 2 days to be able to transform the space. We've put in some tents to make the public comfortable as well. We're mindful we're in the middle of the hurricane season. We can't prevent any all of the ailments and all of the bad weather, but we have tried our best to make people comfortable with chairs and people on site to be able to answer their questions from time to time as well.
Regional and international news coming up after this short break.
Cure Oxygen is way more than just water. We infuse pristine water with over 1 billion tiny oxygen bubbles using our state-of-the-art process. The benefits of additional oxygen are huge, from strengthening your immune system to increasing energy levels, stamina, and sports performance. And that's not all. It also improves skin health, helps you sleep better, and reduces stress. Join the movement of people experiencing the benefits of Cure Oxygen. It's not hype, it's science.
Welcome back. In sports, defending champions Barbados remain huge favourites to lift the Cricket West Indies CG United Women's T20 Blaze title yet again, defeating their biggest rivals Jamaica in fourth-round action this morning at the National Stadium in Providence, Guyana. In a clash of the two unbeaten teams, the Bajans prevailed, winning by 24 runs.
Opener Hayley Matthews stroked a brilliant unbeaten half-century and then produced a miserly spell as Barbados won their fourth match on the trot. Batting first, Barbados made 129 for 4, but that total could have been higher had the Jamaicans not pulled things back nicely in the second half of the innings. Right-hander Matthews batted through the innings for an accomplished 74 of 63 balls, sharing an opening stand of 50 in 7.4 overs with Kezia Knight, who made 14. The Jamaicans conceded 19 extras with C. Howell taking 2 for 27, while Stephanie Taylor and Vanessa Watts shared the other 2 wickets. In the run chase, the Bajans made some telling and timely blows to keep the Jamaicans in check. Middle order trio, Chidi Nation 26, Chanel Henry 24 and Taylor 18 got starts, but Jamaica could only get to 104 for 6 when the overs finished. Alia Allen took 2 for 20, while Shakira Selman, Shanika Bruce and Alia Williams had 1 apiece. Matthews was the lone bowler not to take a wicket, but conceded just 15 runs from her 4 overs.
In regional news, Guyana's Education Minister Priya Manik-Chan on Monday advised that her ministry will soon roll out a new hairstyle policy for school children. According to Manik-Chan, the policy could be in place by the new school term in September 2022, following several rounds of consultations with parents, teachers, and other stakeholders.
Conversations about outdated hairstyle policies in the school system started in March 2022 after the ministry issued a memo announcing a relaxation of existing hairstyle rules in schools for students and teachers to observe International Women's Day. Soon after the memo was issued, a national debate permeated social media with persons calling for the abolition of the rules. Manik-Chan has agreed that there is a need for the hairstyle rules in schools to be examined and possibly changed. Manik-Chan said that she has heard of students being sent home and even placed in detention and punished for their hairstyles not being appropriate or acceptable according to the rules. But she explained that hairstyles cannot determine whether a student learns. Since then, Manik-Chan said that all efforts are geared towards removing some of the archaic rules that could narrow how people express themselves.
On the international front, Sri Lanka's energy minister says further rationing of fuel is likely to begin by the first week of July. The grim news comes as families struggle to buy food. More in this report from Al Jazeera Television.
Mercy Pereira is struggling to keep the home fires burning. For 35 years, she has been making and selling string hoppers, a popular Sri Lankan staple. But with food prices skyrocketing, cooking gas and kerosene unavailable, she's struggling.
I have to look after 8 people. I manage all the expenses with what I make, even the water and electricity bills. If costs increase more than this, I just can't go on.
Mercy is not alone. Most Sri Lankans are reeling as food inflation has raced past 50%.
I found some items about 3 times more than even last week. Yeah. So it's always, every day it's going up.
The person who bought kilos before now buys 250 grams. Things are at rock bottom.
The United Nations says the country's economic crisis has affected food security, agriculture, livelihoods, and access to health services. Its World Food Programme says 3 out of 4 families are badly affected.
They're cutting back on meals, they're cutting back on the portions of those meals, and they're buying food that's much cheaper but much less nutritious.
The UN and non-government organizations are appealing for almost $50 million for what they describe as life-saving assistance to the worst-hit people. But there are bigger concerns.
My fear is that there is a much larger portion of the population who will very soon need the same kind of assistance unless there's a fundamental change in the situation here.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. Sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Medium bus terminals as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.